What's up? Welcome back. You found my message in a bottle. Yeah, so I don't know how long this was drifting out there on YouTube's ocean, but somehow it made it to you. And, actually, it's kind of funny to think that most people are going to see this in like the first 48 hours that it was posted. Um, which means that what I just said kind of sounds like it's been drifting for months or days at least, right? But in reality, most people are going to see this pretty immediately. But I feel like it still makes sense to think of it as a message in a bottle. Let me make a case for it, okay? So, the way I see it, right? Um, a message in a bottle, traditionally, it's somebody going to the ocean and they have like a letter that they put into a bottle and they let it drift out. And I think the reason why people do it is mostly out of curiosity. Um, I don't, I don't know, right? Because I've never really met and talked to anybody who's done this in real life. But it's probably similar to why people make and post, art or all sorts of things on the internet. Maybe not quite social media, but maybe even social media. Maybe people's Instagram stories are also messages in a bottle. Um, yeah, just on the internet, instead of currents, um, letting the bottle or like carrying the bottle around places, it's all the algorithms. And that's kind of cool, you know? YouTube algorithm as like the YouTube ocean. Uh, yeah, just kind of taking things places. That'd be cool if we could come up with like a big model for YouTube where like there's uh like hot water and cold water. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so before I get distracted again, shout out to Adam. Adam After Hours. No S actually. Adam After Hour. He lets me use his Twitch footage for my background footage. He's got his fat cat in the bottom right corner, little PNG. Um, but yeah, where was I? YouTube is the ocean. Yep. The algorithm is the currents. Yeah. And, I've heard content creators say before, I'm pretty sure what they say is that the beginning of the year, right after the holiday season, is one of the hardest times for getting views. And I kind of like seeing that as the tides in the ocean, right? I guess tides are every day, and that's not every day. Oh, but I guess there are tides, like daily tides, for the algorithm as well, because it'll push stuff when there's more people on the platforms, and there's definitely more people on the platforms at certain times of the day, right? Well, yeah, algorithms, the currents, and we got tides as well. Let me see. I guess I could talk about why I send out messages in bottles, right? I mean, for me personally, it's going to be different from most people, right? Actually, I don't necessarily know if that's true, but what I'm trying to say is that we all have like uh individual reasons. For my case, it's got a few facets to it. I would say one of them is kind of like a connection. connection thing. Feels like the things that I make, I care most about not really the product itself, but knowing that the product has reached somebody. Whether that's um, one particular type of person or a certain demographic, I don't really think about that very much. So that's not part of my calculation. I'm mostly just interested in the things I make reaching somebody, and it's like a bonus if I get to know who it reached and um, how do I describe it? Like if I got to know something about that person, I think that's kind of cool. I think that's the connection aspect. And then also, I mean, as a person who's watched a lot of YouTube, I just like contributing to the big pile of things that people can come across and decide if they're going to interact with or not. Um, it's like being part of the machine, and YouTube can't stop me, at least not without a reason. I'm not giving him a reason yet. It's also an act of free will, I guess. The idea that I'm not really doing this for any gain. Like, you know, I don't make money off this. I don't even really get views. So I'm definitely not doing this because it makes me rich or what are other reasons? Uh, Validation. I don't get validation for this. Um, I'm kind of just doing it because I want to, and that sounds like free will to me. You know, I'm not I'm not a slave to the algorithm or anything like that. I just kind of am making stuff, and I hope it reaches people, but not for any kind of gain necessarily. For the connection, right? That's what I was just talking about. Let me think. Um, I don't know. Does this stuff make sense to you? Like the things that you make? You feel like your Instagram stories are messages in bottles? Do you make YouTube videos and the concept makes sense for your videos? It'd be interesting to hear your opinions. Yeah. I guess in the like real world versions of messages in a bottle, usually they are expecting like a letter back or something. And you know, in YouTube, extending the metaphor right, that would be the comments. That's what the comments are for. Another big difference between real life messages in a bottle and like digital or internet ones is that the message is not spent, you know, when the first person finds it. Uh, in real life, only one person can open it up, and well, I guess, you know, they could close it and send it on, but the thing I'm trying to say is that there's just more reach online. And I should go to the ocean and just let out a real message in the bottle and put a link to this YouTube video on it. That'd be pretty wild. Okay, well, we're hitting my 10-minute mark, so I'm gonna leave now, but shout out again, Adam After Hour. Check out his stream. And thank you for watching. See ya.